Hello, this is Dan Marrow, and we interrupt your regularly scheduled program with this news bulletin. 20 minutes ago, we began receiving reports of large, unidentified flying MP3s, spotted hovering all over cities across the globe. We don't know what this means as of yet. An official word has not been forthcoming. There are not any reports of hostile actions being taken by the MP3s. Locally, the MP3s have been spotted over the Kansas City area. So we're going to our own Laura Miller on the scene for IFCKC News with a live report. Laura, what's the situation out there?
Hi, Dan. We're on location at the Musician's Repair, and as you can imagine, the appearance... How dare you? The appearance of the MP3 players has everyone in a tizzy. We have a good view of one of the MP3 players now, as you can see behind me, over the Musician's Repair store. It just seems to be sitting there hovering in a distance, just making some kind of strange spaceship noise. It reminds me of the Independence Day movie, and it's a little frightening. We've been here for a few minutes, and there really hasn't been much change. It just seems to be just sitting there spinning in the sky, more or less in the same area. We still haven't had any reports coming in of the MP3 player of causing destruction or damage. Have you heard anything more about the MP3 players at the station, Dan?
Laura, we're receiving new reports that have come in from all over the planet of other flying MP3s. We still have no official reports from any government body except for the Department of iTunes, stating that all agencies dealing with the manufacture, licensing, and control of consumer electronics industry are disclaiming any knowledge of the MP3 players. So far, we can only imagine what the MP3 players are up to. We have another crew a bit closer to South Kansas City area, I believe. Yes, following up with an eyewitness report of what may be the first word on an attack. We will take you there now with our own Deb Ellison on the scene.
Thanks, Dan. We just received a report from a possible attack of MP3 players witnessed by Mrs. Gladys Fornsby, who has just arrived driving back from Lee Summit. Mrs. Fornsby, why don't you just continue telling us what you were telling me a moment ago?
Hi, Deb. I love your new station, by the way, and that Dan Marrow, oh, he is just so dreamy. I was driving back from my sister's house in Lee Summit. She was putting up my hair for me, and your hair looks fantastic, by the way. And anyhow, a minute or so ago, maybe a little bit more, I saw this MP3 player just flying in the west. And darned, there was a bright light between it and the ground, and I'd have swore there was smoke rising from underneath where the lights flashed.
Did you hear any sounds before the flash?
How
far away from the MP player were you?
I was too far away to hear anything until just a second or two before the flash, and then I thought I might have heard something screeching like like the fan belt in my car.
I hear something now. Look, up above. I see it in the sky.
What do I do? Is there anything ready? Well, in other news today, VFW Post 24 had its annual pancake breakfast this morning and set a new attendance record when a busload of hungry filmmakers broke down just outside the meeting hall. The independent filmmakers were quoted as saying, "We might work for free, but someone is going to have to feed us." Pancakes. That's American. Now, we need to go back to Laura. Laura, what can you tell us? What have you got out there?
Dan, we've seemed to run out of time and have to get this whole story wrapped up and video turned in before the deadline. There seems to be only one possible way out, and it's frightening.